This is Michael Woodward, and this is Season 2, Episode 82 of the Jumblethink Podcast.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast, where we interview leading entrepreneurs about their journey of turning ideas and dreams into reality. Today on the podcast, we're talking about remembering what matters. I want to encourage you, wherever you like to listen to podcasts, head on over there and subscribe to the Jumblethink Podcast. If you like listening on iTunes, it's super easy. Jumblethink.com/iTunes, and for Spotify, Jumblethink.com/Spotify. It'll take you right to the app, right where you can click that subscribe button. While you're there, why don't you leave a rating and review too? Now let's get today's episode started. Hey there, welcome to the Jumblethink Podcast. My name is Michael Woodward. I am your host. We have an incredible episode lined up for you today. Before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors for today's episode, OpportunityInChina.com and Floxy. Here's a little bit more about what they're doing.
At the dawn of the 19th century, forward-thinking people moved to the commercial centers of Europe. Moving into the 20th century, America welcomed millions into the land of freedom and opportunity. It is now the 21st century. Many of the successes and fortunes of our generations will be made in China. To learn how you can seize opportunity in China, follow the Opportunity in China podcast. The Opportunity in China podcast is available anywhere podcasts are streamed, or you can visit our website at OpportunityInChina.com.
Today's episode is sponsored by Floxy. You have a killer idea for the perfect graphic or website, but you feel stuck and overwhelmed by the cost and skills it takes to create those ideas. Maybe you lack the time you need to create them. No matter the obstacle, it's time to get that idea created. And our friends over at Floxy can help you create those killer graphics, the perfect website, or even create the copy that's used on your next ad, all at a low cost, starting at $349 per month. Their on-demand, unlimited graphic design, web, and copywriting are backed by a 7-day money-back guarantee for all new accounts. And you'll be working with a dedicated US-based project manager assigned to your account. There are no hidden fees, and billing is month to month. So check them out for your next project and for the project after that too. You can find them at floxy.com, FLOCKSY.com. Let them know that Jumblethink sent you. So today on the podcast, we're talking about remembering what matters. I can think of so many times in my life where I got distracted by things that didn't matter. And as an entrepreneur, I think many people, or even as dreamers or idea makers, we get so hyper-focused on what we have to do, the tasks, the work, the meetings, that sometimes we forget what really, really matters. We get worried about things that the world's going to collapse around us when things are going bad. And when things are going great, we ride that high of whether it's money or influence, we ride that high, and often we have blinders on to remembering what matters. I want to take a moment and tell a couple stories. They come from actually when we lived in Northern California. It was a lot of fun. In 2002, I moved out there to work at a church called the Father's House in Orville, California. They're doing really, really cool stuff, still are, working with recovering meth addicts and drug addiction. They're working with youth that come from broken or lost homes. They are working with children that are lucky to have a meal because they come from such poverty. It truly is a missional church where they are seeing very broken people, people with nothing, people who can't survive. That's who they're ministering to. That's who they're working with. And for several years, I worked there helping youth as a youth pastor and leading worship for the church and working with the children's program, working with the recovery program. I can tell you so many different stories of crazy things that happened there. Being shot at. Yeah, it's true. Seeing people who you thought were on a better path relapse and end up dying. And through that season and the ups and downs, through the victories and lives changed and also the brokenness of lives lost, I learned that so much of what we focus on is insignificant because it's really about the lives around us, the people we're serving, the people we're walking through victories and tragedies with. In that, I saw brokenness at its highest heights, but also the opportunity of hope and change and a new future there. For me, this was really one of the foundations of understanding that what we do, what we say, how we act is much more significant than what we could imagine. Recently, a matter of fact, yesterday, I was watching the news, watching Facebook feeds of friends in Northern California, and seeing that many of these people I know are losing everything that they own. Some are even losing family members and friends through what's called the campfire in Paradise, California. Late last night, around 2 a.m., I was watching Twitter feeds because Paradise was 5 miles up a road from where I lived, and the entire city is gone. It burnt down to the ground. People were stuck and couldn't get out. People lost their homes. They lost their businesses. They lost everything. And then at 2 a.m., when I'm watching that feed on Twitter, I see that where we lived in Chico was being evacuated. I saw pictures of fire trucks on our street where our house was, and flames in the distance, not too distant distance, very close actually, peeking over a ridge and beginning to come down. I still don't know what happened to the houses. Still haven't been able to find out if they're safe or not. But it made me think again, remember back to my days in California, and remember the simple question of what matters in our lives. What is significant? What brings value? For many of my friends, clients, customers, people I worked with at the church in Paradise, I know where their businesses are. As a matter of fact, built the Paradise Chamber of Commerce website years ago, and I know these businesses. I know these owners of businesses. I have friends that live in these houses, and they've lost that. And again, for some of them, they've lost family members or even their own lives. It's very, very, very sad. Okay, so tragedy is happening. And tragedy sometimes reminds us to take stock, to be aware of the things that we value. What we often think is significant is not often all that important. So you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and you're stressed. Projects aren't coming in, people aren't paying, or maybe business is going well and you're celebrating it. But often you're working so hard and you're in the grind of things that you forget to pay attention to your friends, more importantly, your family. And you lose that. You lose that perspective of what really matters. So today's episode is very short. I wanted to encourage you very simply to think about today. What matters to you? Not what do you think you need, not what do you have to do because of your work or the idea or dream you're chasing, but really stop and think, what is significant? What is it that you should be focused on? What is it that you should pay more attention to? Who is it that you're ignoring? Maybe by not ignoring them, you bring them hope, or you bring new friendship, or you get to see your children grow up to become who they were created to be. So I want you to stop today. Tragedy is all around us. We are not guaranteed anything. Not tomorrow, not even our next minute. We can see it over and over again in tragedy that people who thought one day they could do something, one day they could spend more time with their family, one more day they could get to have that conversation they wanted to have, or chase that dream or purpose that they're living for. One day may never come. So today I want you to think, what is significant for you? What matters? And then I want you to begin to put a plan together. Begin to take the steps to make those dreams, those ideas, to make those relationships, those friendships, those family members more significant in your journey. There's that old cliche that no one at their deathbed says that they wish they would have worked more or done more. Most of them say that they wish they would have slowed down more and spent more time with family, with really investing in things that matter. So today, it's a very simple challenge. If you are a dreamer, if you are an idea maker, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, you're doing really cool stuff, I'm sure. If you're just somebody who has the 9-to-5, there's nothing wrong to that either. But no matter who you are, you need to be aware and be intentional about building a life of significance and investing into things that matter so that you live today so that you have no regrets. So today, take that moment, think about it. What matters? What is it that you need to be investing in? What is it that you need to slow down and do? What is it that is stealing from your family, from your friends, from your own purpose and dreams? Begin to make shifts in your life so that you can begin to live a life fulfilled with significance and purpose. Now it's up to you. Will you be intentional about this journey? Will you step up and say, I'm going to take stock and invest in what matters? I hope today's episodes encouraged you to really invest in significant things, things of importance, things that matter. If you need some help in this, or if you want someone to talk to, shoot us an email, hello@jumblethink.com. We'd love to have that conversation with you and begin to help you take stock of what matters, invest into the things that create your destiny, to invest in the relationships that bring you life. So get out there and do it. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I know it's a heavy topic, but I hope it's encouraged you in really taking and measuring what matters in your life. We want to thank today's sponsors, OpportunityInChina.com and Floxy. Here's a little bit more about Floxy. Once again, we want to thank our friends over at Floxy for sponsoring today's episode. Floxy is doing some really, really cool stuff. Did you ever need a graphic designed, a website developed, or copywritten, but found that the designers and developers were too expensive and often took a long time to get your project completed? Well, Floxy is your answer. Floxy is your unlimited graphic design, web development, and copywriting team. Plans start at $349 per month with no hidden fees, month-to-month billing, and you can cancel at any time. So check them out for your next project and for the project after that at floxy.com. That's FLOCKSY.com. And let them know that Jumblethink sent you. Today's episode is also sponsored by our friends over at OpportunityInChina.com. Have you been looking for a way to change your career or social prospects? Do you see the world around you changing and haven't quite figured out what path to take? You're not alone in seeking opportunity. Visit OpportunityInChina.com for access to scholarships to attend university in China. Or if you have a bachelor's degree already, OpportunityInChina.com provides access to jobs in the educational sector all across China. Working in China is not only often well paid, but it will place you among 1/5 of the world's population, boosting your social network, bringing you more deeply into the story of globalization, and opening doors you never knew that existed. So seize your opportunity now. Visit their website for more information at OpportunityInChina.com. By the way, they have a killer podcast. Make sure to check that out wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Search for Opportunity in China podcast. It's really cool. I think you're going to love it too. Hey, thanks again for tuning into today's episode. I want to encourage you. There's so much that life has to offer. Make sure that you're investing in things that are significant, things that do matter. Don't forget your friends. Don't forget your family members. Don't forget to spend time with the ones you love. Now get out there, dream big, chase those dreams and ideas, and change the world around you.
Étirez-vous doucement, mais complètement. En avant, en arrière, sur les côtés. Vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants, peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant. Dans quelques mois, lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps, vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.